Um, so, well, I'm Mariano. I think most of you know me. I'm gonna share my screen. How do you share your whole screen here? I think like that. Can you see something? Anything?
Yes. Yes.
Cool. Let me. So, about a month ago, we like four guys from Fiqus. We took part of this competition called SpawnFest. It's a competition where you have 48 hours to develop something using the Beam virtual machine. The Beam virtual machine is I don't know if most of you know it, but it's the Erlang virtual machine. We chose to use Elixir for it. Elixir is a language that runs on the Erlang virtual machine, but it's a bit more modern than Erlang and a bit nicer. It's a functional programming language that it shares a lot of things with Erlang, but in a nicer looking package. I don't know if you have seen Erlang, but it's pretty ugly. So Elixir kind of makes it a bit prettier. So this time, this is the second time we participate in this competition. We won. There's some categories for prizes and stuff. We in 2018 we won. That's me. And this time, we won the overall prize, and we won maintainability. There's like 6 categories. I think there's creativity, usefulness, innovation, correctness, maintainability, completion, and nothing else. So last year we won maintainability and the overall prize. This year we didn't win the overall prize, but we won usefulness and completion. So what did we do for this? We made this software called Present. The name is, well, I don't know why, but people in Elixir like to put EX on the names of stuff. So we did too. And well, it's like the source code is freely available. It's open source or free software. And basically what Present does is it allows you to create slideshows with mostly for programming talks. It has a couple of features geared towards that. Let me show you first an example of the features. Basically, well, I'll show you later, but what you have to do is mix send, and it does some stuff. And this is an issue that, I mean, we did it in 48 hours, so there's still a couple of issues, and we just got the repo back to us, so we're gonna start fixing them. But for now, let's see what you can do. Well, this is basically what the app looks like. You have slides. You can move using the key. I messed something up here. I don't know why. It should work. So there's a couple of issues. We did it in 48 hours. So it should work. For some reason, I don't have the nicest feature that we have. Oh, here it is. Okay. So I think the most the coolest feature that it has is that you can include code and you can run it in the browser. So if I click run here, you see the output of this. It doesn't have to be Elixir code. Here you see Python. and you can just run it the same way, and it runs. This is the output of the code. And another cool feature, I think, is that you can edit the code in the same spreadsheet, like as you are giving the talk or whatever. And let's say I want to print and I want to also print. Well, in Python, it's a bit ugly to do this because we don't have a nice editor here, so I'll do it like this. And let's print hello every time. Every time I print a number, I'll print hello and apply it and run it. And well, it changes the code, and it doesn't change your actual file. It just changes, it like saves it in a temporary place, and it runs it. So well, that I think is the coolest feature that we added. Another, well, you can add custom CSS and background images. This is a custom CSS for one slide. You can include another markdown files. Well, yeah, something I didn't say. You define all your slides in a markdown file. So I think it's pretty accessible to most developers. I mean, I think most have used Markdown before. You can include images like GIFs or shapes. I don't know how you say. Tables defined in Markdown, lists, quotes, like basically everything you can do in Markdown, you can add it to a slide. And well, that's a feature showcase. One cool thing that about the project, I think, is that we use a feature in Elixir, in Phoenix, which is the web framework for Elixir, that's called live view. So basically, like all of these, like the interactions and everything, we did it without using any JavaScript. So I mean, we use a bit of JavaScript, but most of it is done without JavaScript. If you see here, we have all the JavaScript for the application, and it's basically only for the editing part. But other than that, we didn't have to use any JavaScript. So how is that done technically? Well, I don't know if you're familiar with Elixir, but this will be just an overview. I won't go too deep in live view, but as a little overview, I think I can show you. So basically what you have is this, let's call it a controller. It's not a controller, it's a module, but let's call it a controller. And in live view, you have to define two methods, render and mount. Mount gets run every time you start the, someone connects to the socket. I mean, all the interactions are sent via WebSockets automatically. I mean, you don't really see the WebSocket, but it's what live view does behind the scenes. So mount gets called when you connect, and render gets called when the data changes. So when you mount the thing, this connection, the live view connection, what you do is you assign to the socket some data. Here we assign the slides that we get from our, like we didn't make a markdown parser, but we we augmented a markdown parser to add some custom things. So we get the slides from this. Then you get the slide number that you're in, and well, some stuff. It doesn't matter. But you basically assign that, and every time you render HTML using these assigns. These assigns are the same you assign here. And every time something happens, like if I go to the slides HTML, for example, let me see. So I have, let's see which one I can show you. There's here. So this is the RAM. Well, not this one, but I think there's, no, it should be here. Slide index. Well, I can't find it, but it doesn't matter. So this is the stop button, like this button that you see when you click on run. You can click on stop, and well, it'll terminate the program. So when you click this special phx click, phx means Phoenix, click equals to stop. Basically, what it does is when you get when you click on this button, you get here in this how you call it, the controller thing, you get sent an event and you have to handle it. So let's say this stop. You basically handle the stop event. Well, here we use it's a bit more complex than other things, but what we do is we broadcast an PubSub event. PubSub is like publisher subscriber. It's like an internal thing from the Erlang virtual machine that lets you use like a publisher subscriber model, and we call stop code execution for this slide. So why do we do it with these PubSub things if we're using like only one? Like why do we need a publisher subscriber? It's because, well, there's another feature. If I open a new window and let me send it to the same place. If stupid macOS lets me do it. So if I go to the same place, localhost 4000 /presenter, you get a similar view but different, and you can change which slide you're in here, and this is basically for like you will have this running on one monitor, and this the actual presentation running on a how you call it, a projector or whatever. And here you can have notes also, like presenter notes. I don't think we added any presenter notes to this demo, but you would see them down here. And well, it's synchronized. You can run the code here and it'll run in both. Well, one thing is that the code you edit, it is only edited for the how you call it, like if you connect after that's kind of like a bug or a missing feature. Like if I edit the code now here, let's say I make it print hello 2 and apply it, it'll change it in both. But if you're not connected, like if you don't have both open when you edit the code, then they'll get out of sync. So it's like you should open it basically when you start giving the talk, the presenter view, I mean. And well, that's like the largest feature of present. One cool thing that we did is we published it here in Hex, which is like the archive for the package archive for Elixir. We published actually 2 packages. This present new lets you create a new presentation, and this present is the actual library that we use. So how do you create a new presentation? Well, it should be pretty simple. If I go here, and let's go somewhere else. Can you see the terminal? Okay, I'm guessing you can.
Yes. So, we are seeing. Yes, we do.
So if I go and do, so what you need to do, it's here in the documentation, but you need to install this present new package. So you do mix archive.install hex present new and the version. I have already done that. So what that gives me is a command that I can do mix present.new and give it a name, demo1, for example. This will automatically fetch the dependencies, but there's a bug there, so I'll say no, but I doesn't matter. So if I go to demo1, so the bug is that one of the dependencies has the wrong version. So what this will be fixed pretty soon. Like we just got the repo back, so we haven't been able to fix stuff because they were changing it and whatever. So now what I do is mix deps.get. This gets all the dependencies for the project, and I do so. This project, what I created is a slice.md, a sample markdown file, and then mix.exs is what has the dependencies, like the definition of the dependencies. Deps are where you get the actual code for the dependencies, and build is an internal thing for Elixir. And it also creates a git ignore for those files, so you don't have to worry. Basically, what you do is you do the mix %.new, and then you have a repo ready for pushing it to GitHub or whatever. So if I see the slides.markdown, it just has a one slide with a title. We split slides with 3 dashes, and a second slide. And if I do mix %, with an N, it'll compile it. This only takes a bit the first time because you have to compile all the dependencies. But after you run it the first time, it should just be faster. It doesn't take that much, but it takes a little bit. We're almost done, yeah. So now I have this new presentation running in the same place that I had the other one. And like you'll see that I have to refresh the browser for it to change. I have this new thing. And another cool feature that we added is that if you let's open a new terminal. If you leave it running and you demo1, if you edit the slides, it'll live reload the ones that you're showing. So it's good for while you're working on it, you can have a browser open. So let's say I wanted to add some text here, and I want to save it. So when I save it, it'll in real time grab the changes and add it to the slides. Yeah, I think that's basically it for the features. So well, we were really happy with this, with how this turned out. I think it's pretty usable. I mean, remember it was done in 48 hours. So yeah, I don't know if you have any. Maybe I went a bit too fast. So if you have any questions, anyone, stop sharing.
Hello, Patcon. How are you?
So I don't know if you like if you understood everything I said. It was just basically a showcase of how live view works and how you can pretty fast you can do something nice and interactive just using like without doing any JavaScript or well almost any JavaScript. I don't know, any questions, any Anything?
I'm Santiago. We saw that we can execute JavaScript code. I'm just wondering if I am a JavaScript developer and I'm developing my own library. Do you think that we can build a feature that can enable us to use code of my own library and execute it there? I'm not saying that it can work right now, but
so like
maybe we can open it.
Yeah, I mean, it's so the thing we do right now is we just run a file. Like you specify an interpreter, and we just run a file. So basically, you can as long like it depends a bit on the language, but you can run any if your JavaScript file includes another file and you run it with Node, it'll just work. The thing, I mean, you need, for example, for Node, you probably need like Node modules and whatever, but it doesn't need to be like you can have just a folder and run the code from that folder, and as long as Node can run it, then this present can run it. So the idea is, yes, to allow, I mean, there's a bunch of features that we wanted to implement and ran out of time, like, but yeah, the idea is to improve it a bit over time.
Any other question? Don't be shy.
Not a question, but I do like the fact that this is a presentation about how to improve future presentations.
Yes. We encourage you to use it, to test it, to improve it, because it's open source free software. So yes, Patcon.
I guess it's a question for everyone, partly because I just missed the talk, and so I'm trying to learn more. But what is it? Does anyone have thoughts on whether they might use this in their near or medium future? And if not, why not? Even if it's just, you know, I don't do presentations, or what feels inaccessible, or why might you use it and why might you not use it? So something maybe that anyone can answer.
I can answer that. This last Wednesday, I used it for show and tells during Agaric's show and tell, when I told everyone about this trip to Kigali, to Africa. So I use it, and it's pretty cool to use. It's pretty simple. Once you set up all the environment, you install all the things you need to install. It's pretty like easy to use it, because if you are familiar with Markdown, you just write the plain text in that format, and it will like create a presentation with all these cool features. So I think I will use it every time I need to do a presentation.
Yeah, I mean, it's mainly intended for Elixir developers to use it. I mean, it's like the main focus, but I think anyone can use it. I mean, you probably have to be a developer to use it, because like for styling and stuff, you need to know at least CSS. But like other than that, so let me show you. I forgot like how you style, like how you make custom styles for your how do you call it, your slides. This is the so here, let me, where am I? Here I have the demo slides that I show you at first, and these kind of things are we call them commands, which basically you say, if you start with this header thing, you can change the header. So let me run these slides so you can see what I'm talking about. Where am I? Here. Let me kill this one. So present examples, no. Examples, feature showcase. So here it's like when you say header feature showcase, you can see it here in the header. Same for footer, you have to present, and it's here. And then you do another command is custom CSS, and you specify the CSS file. In this case, the custom CSS is style.css. This one is I only one custom site here, but what it does is you have a custom animation for the background. So you see here, like this is the custom slide there. What it is, I hid the header and the footer, and also added this animation with these keyframes to change the background color. And I only did in one slide just by using a class. And you can see in the markdown that you can add this command, slide classes custom, and you just, so it will add this custom class to the slide classes. Well, you can, there's another command that's include, that you include another markdown file. And well, the one for the code is code, the command, and you can include, if you include an Elixir file, it's just, you just do the file because Elixir is like the default, but you can include any language for, you just include the file, then this is the language we use for syntax highlighting, and this is the interpreter we use for executing the code. And oh yeah, you can like custom backgrounds, you select background, change the background, and that's, yeah, basically all of the commands are in the README. What is here? You have, yeah, all of the commands are, you can add like a global background to change the background for all the slides. You can add comments so that you can only see in the presenter view. Well, with time we'll probably add more commands and stuff. So yeah, now that's it.
Sorry, let me show you something also, if you don't mind. This is the, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Well, this is a presentation I told you. I made it this Wednesday, and as you can see, you can, this is more like in a good format to present, but you can see that I added an image. I just changed the CSS for this first slide, and I think it's pretty useful, and it's really fast. As you see, I put a lot. This is about Kigali, the trip. Then other day I can tell you about this, but as you can see, I added a lot of images, and it's pretty fast. And if you want a particular CSS in one of the slides, you just add a custom CSS. So, and another pretty like cool feature that I think Mariano didn't say, but I found it like really useful, is that if you want to go to the first one, you go directly to the first one. So when I was talking and someone asked something from a previous slide, I just went to the slide that someone asked, and it was really fast to explain something. So I think that is really cool to use.
So to answer Fatcon, he asked if there's a link. So that's one of the things that we didn't get to implement yet. Since you can, I don't know if you saw it, but you can execute code in the slides. So right now you can't host it because like people could execute arbitrary code in your computer or well, in your server. But yeah, we were planning on a like at least a PDF export feature or maybe an HTML export feature. So we'll probably do that quite soon, but not yet.
Yeah, well, but regarding that, we can have a little bit of control being the hoster. I think it's a good way to use this application instead of exporting a PDF.
Yeah, I mean, you could just like the idea is right now for you to just show it locally and you be the only one that has access to it. But yeah, it would be cool if you could just
Yeah.
share it with someone.
Yes, Paco.
Yeah, this seems super rad, and I like the like one file kind of split up approach. It reminds me of the tools that I use for this right now that are less powerful. Are HackMD has a presentation format, which is kind of turns a markdown file into a slideshow, and also Big does a similar thing. It like kind of makes words expand to the full screen, so it's like made for like lots of quick slides, and I like that kind of hacker approach. Like the thing that would make it hard. So I do presentations kind of every week with the community that I'm with, but we focus a lot on, there's a lot of non-technical people who we want to have a lot of control. So I think the running locally would make it really hard for me to use it for that context. And unfortunately that means Google Slides, that's often what I think we tend to favor there, because it's like accessibility to everyone, even less technical people or people who have very little time is important. And it would be, I think I do value a lot that deliver, like personally, okay, so that's like the community context I'm in. But I do give my own presentations, but it's also really important for me to share that after, so that there's not just the coincidence of time and space of someone like being in the same room as me or being available at the same time. And that the whatever the content is can be shared elsewhere. So it not being able to propagate and move around after the presentation feels like a very strongly important feature. That's missing.
Yeah, it's something that for sure we want to add. You can, I mean, one thing
but it
that's
looks awesome. I'm just saying why I couldn't use it now for like
yeah, for sure. But one thing that you can do, let me share again.
Yeah.
Let's say like here we have the example files basically that I use. So if I go to this feature showcase and open Slack, like in GitHub, if you open Markdown, all the content is accessible. And since we use Markdown, which is the same thing that like it's something that GitHub understands, most of the content is accessible. At least like the thing is that for the code you will have to actually go to the code thing. Other than that, you can see the titles and the content. Probably with Nicolas, the one that Nicolas showed, you can see even more relevant data. With the code ones, you probably want to see the code. But yeah, for sure we wanted to add the PDF export, but we just didn't get to do it in 48 hours. But
yeah. Oh, 48. I thought I had a week written down. 48's even less.
Yeah.
The one other piece, I don't know if this feature would be worth it, but since there's other tools that have this flowing, it turns a flowing document into a form, and I wonder if, I don't know, cross compatibility, like if I'm just one person, but I'm already using these other tools that turn a flowing document into a presentation, and I could easily try yours if it was just like, oh, just copy your other one in and it'll work.
Yeah, I mean, right now, if you have something that outputs or you have something that you write in Markdown, the only thing you need to do is split the slides with 3 dashes, and it'll just work. It should just work, but maybe not. You have to try.
Sorry, Pat got missed the presentation part during the beginning. He's from a cooperative in a tech co-op in Canada. Well, I don't know if anyone has more questions.
Questions, just tell you that it looks great, and I will use it if I have to.
Thank you. Yes, we hope you use it if you need it, because it's something that it was made besides the contest and all that stuff. It's made from a cooperative, and I think that if you are part of a cooperative and you create a presentation, maybe you should try to use it just to support this project.
I forgot to say, so Pablo, the guy that just came in, is one of the teammates that that participated in the thing, and Joaquin is another one, and there's another one that's busy working. But
Pablo is the person, not the dog. Okay. Well, I don't know if you have any more questions or comments. We are near to the time, ending time. If you don't, well, I really appreciate you appeared, you participate in this space. It gives life to the space. Life. Sorry. I think we should continue like working in these common spaces to figure out how to continue with the relationships between the cooperatives. I have been recently in Africa, and I was to represent my federation, FACTIC. And what I realized is that there are no other spaces represented by tech co-ops. The whole cooperative movement, they use technology, and there is no cooperative producing that technology. We must be there. So in order to provide these services, we must be like united. We have to create these relationships and work together. So I think these activities, they will like help us to reach that goal. So I really appreciate you are here. After this show and tell, I will contact some of you to help me organizing this, because I think that now that everyone like got used to, or to that, I don't know, the last Friday of each month, and maybe we can like start organizing these show and tells like in a group. For example, today I didn't know that it was holiday in some countries, and if I would like organize this with another person that is in another country, I would like maybe, I don't know, got to know this. So I think it will be like valuable to organize this in a group, in a collaboration with our cooperative, not just one person or one cooperative, because this is the main idea. So after this show and tell, I will reach you out, some of you guys, to help me with this organization if you think this is a valuable space. If not, no problem. So that's it. Thank you very much for being here, for participating, for taking your time, a bit of your time during this Friday. Have a nice weekend, and see you during the next show and tell. Okay.
Thank you. Bye.
bye.
Thank you.
Good to see all your faces.
Bye.
Bye.
Nico, if the recording goes off, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Cool.